I'm Jackie Doucette, and I'm on a mission to discover exactly what life is like beyond retirement. Join me while I chat with people who've already done it, who've retired to something rather than from something. Let's find out together exactly what's waiting for us when we say goodbye to that 9 to 5. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beyond Retirement. I'm really excited today to be joined by Pragito Dove. She's an internationally recognized author, hypnotherapist, coach, and a speaker with over 20 years of experience. She's a global authority on expressive meditation, and she's the founder of the #1 Expressive Meditation Training School in North America. And Pragito helps spiritually conscious individuals align their mindset to allow more peace, time, and financial freedom. I think that's something that we can all use a little bit more of. Pragito, thanks for joining me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Jackie. I'm thrilled to be here.
So let's start with exactly what expressive meditation is. I've heard of meditation, but I'm assuming that this is something particular.
It is, yes. It is a series of meditation techniques that I learned from my teacher, Osho. For example, there's laughter meditation, tears, dancing, humming, gibberish, dynamic. And the idea is that in the first stage, we express out our emotional turmoil, our everything that we've repressed. It's an opportunity to express it out. So, for example, with the laughter, I had to repress my laughter a lot as a child because I was told to stop laughing or stop giggling and, all these kind of things. And so I basically shut down from the neck down. So I didn't cry either. And I wasn't allowed to get angry or speak my truth. So what I had done was shut everything down. And if we want to shut the pain down, but we also shut down the laughter, the joy, and the fun part of ourselves as well. Everything gets shut down. So in these expressive techniques, if I take the laughter as an example, in the first stage, we just laugh. I am not a stand-up comedian. We just start laughing. And there's no talking in English or in any language that you understand. It's just laughing. And then the second stage, we sit in silence. And the idea of it is that when you release or express out all of this energy and these emotions that have been repressed, then that has a lot of benefits in itself. But then it becomes much easier and quicker to drop down to your center of inner peace and calm, which is down your center 2 inches below the navel. So it speeds up your ability to experience inner peace, inner calm, and the love and the wisdom and the joy that are part of our essential nature. And, it really is. And if I take another example, a different example, the gibberish technique. So this one was created by the Sufi mystic Jabbar a number of centuries ago. And in the first stage, you just speak in gibberish. And it's the best one. It's one of the best ones for expressing out our anger and frustration and our irritation, all in gibberish. And then the second stage, we sit in silence. And again, you've released a lot of inner turmoil. You've released a lot of chatter from the mind. And it's much easier and quicker to drop down to our center and find that peace and calm, which is in all of us all the time. It's just that we become disconnected from it.
So if you're sorry to interrupt you, if you're doing this and you're releasing your frustrations in gibberish, is that similar to the person who is ridiculously flying off the handle and swearing a blue streak because something's gone wrong? Does it have the same effect?
Yes and no. I mean, certainly, as long as you're not dumping your anger on another person.
Right.
Because what most people do is they either dump their anger on another person or they shove it down inside. And neither is good.
Right.
So, yeah, when you're swearing and being very angry with a particular person, what that does is, so it personalizes it on a particular person. And the truth of the matter is, and a lot of people don't want to hear this, it's our anger. And that other person has triggered it. And it's very tempting to blame the other person. And I'm not saying the other person is perfect or shouldn't have said what they said, but it is our anger. And when you can recognize that, instead of focusing it on one person in particular, when you speak in gibberish, basically you're just letting the anger out, and it's neutralizes it off of one particular person or people that you don't like. So that's the advantage. And then, of course, the thing is the second stage where you can sit in silence. That is a huge part of it.
And how long does that stage go on? I can imagine that for a lot of people, sitting in silence is very difficult.
It is. However, if you've done some laughter as a first stage, or if you have done some gibberish in a first stage, it is much, much easier to sit in silence because you just released a whole lot of inner energy that needs to be expressed up and out.
So it's a time of kind of gathering up your energy again. Then you're sitting there in silence and you're allowing all the energy that you've just expelled to go free, but then giving yourself a chance to fill up with whatever good energy might be there.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens, is because it creates a space in us when we release a lot of, especially if we release a lot of anger and irritation, it creates a space, and it gets filled up with love, with peace, with joy. And when you keep doing that over time, then all your backlog of anger, because most of us have a backlog of anger, things we were angry about or heard about a long time ago, and it's just been sitting there. So at the beginning, you have to work through all of that. But then you reach a point where you can be talking to somebody and you disagree with them or whatever it is, and you are just able to stay in neutral. You don't get angry because you can be in the present moment with them. They don't remind you of your mother or your father or your uncle and all kinds of people who might have abused you in the past.
So to do this, do you have to first conjure up the things in your mind that make you angry in order to do the gibberish or the laughter or whatever? Or do you just do it out of the blue and just start babbling things about nothing?
Well, for the laughter, what I suggest people to do, especially if it's the first time, either do it with at least one other person or find a funny video, say on YouTube. I particularly like the baby laughter because the baby laughter is so pure.
So contagious.
Your favorite comedian, whatever it is, and just start laughing. And if you haven't done it before, it might take you 2 or 3 goes to get into it. But with the laughter, you can fake it till you make it. So just keep going, ha, 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 and then you'll burst into real laughter. And with the anger, it tends to surprise people how easy it is to bring up your anger, and then they can't stop. This is in my trainings, oh, is it time to finish? I have so much more, It's not that difficult, really, because most people have a lot of repressed anger, particularly women, because women in general are told not to get angry and men in general are told not to cry. So we each have these conditionings that have helped us repress these emotions, which isn't good for the body.
No, definitely not. So when you've done this, is it something that, well, like any meditation, I assume it's something that is beneficial to do frequently, or at least repeatedly?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I teach a very wide range of meditation techniques. There's over 150 techniques in my latest book. And what happens is when you keep experimenting with them, you try different ones, you find the ones that work best for you, the ones you like the best. Like some of my clients, they just love the gibberish because they've never been able to express themselves in that way in their whole lives. And suddenly, in the context of a meditation technique, they can, And the laughter, of course, that one's very popular too, because most people never laughed that much. And it just brings your joy much more to the surface. I mean, I've done hundreds of hours of laughter. So I laugh very easily now, which is very nice.
And it's nice to be free to do that now, since you say you couldn't do that as a child.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it completely changed my life from black and white to Technicolor.
To full color, Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of laughter yoga, which has a similar kind of format, I guess, in terms of it's just an all-out laugh as much as you can, and it releases everything, and it makes you feel so much better. I imagine that this is very, very similar in the feeling that you get from it when you're done.
It's similar, but it's not the same because of the meditation component.
Exactly.
And so with laughter meditation, the beauty of it is it can take you very deep into meditation. The more you do it, the more laughter you do, which of course is beneficial in itself. Then when you sit in silence after you've been doing some laughter and you keep doing that, you cultivate the ability to drop deep down into peace and calm very quickly, which is really nice because the laughter erases the mind. It's usually the mind that's a problem.
Yeah.
And so the great thing about laughter is you can't be worried and laughing at the same time. So you just keep laughing, and over time, the laughter erases from the mind all those worrisome thoughts. It's quite extraordinary how that works.
That sounds wonderful. I'm definitely going to have to try that out.
Oh, yes, do.
And one of the things you mentioned, your book, it's called Lunchtime Enlightenment. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Why did it get to be a #1 bestseller so fast?
I have it right here, Lunchtime Enlightenment. Well, what I have in here is the expressive meditations I was talking about and how to do them. And then I also have the main 8 principles of meditation, which are relaxation, laughter, witnessing the mind, trust, acceptance, and love, and compassion. And I talk about those in the chapters, and I give exercises and meditation techniques that you can do. Because one thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that meditation is based on relaxation. And with relaxation, you always start with the body. Because the more relaxed the body is, then the mind will relax behind that. And so will the emotions. So that's why that chapter goes first in the book. And so it's a lot of useful information plus new techniques like the expressive ones that people actually don't know very much, not in North America anyway. So I think that's why the book, and it's very much a user's guide, user friendly.
I think since most of the listeners here today are probably on their way towards retirement, it doesn't mean that it's time to put everything aside and, life is going to be just blissfully relaxing all the time. A lot of people who have been working through their whole career, doing whatever they do, their minds are busy, their bodies are busy, everything is going full tilt. And when they reach retirement and have the opportunity to stop and maybe have the time to relax, they don't know how. And I think meditation is probably a way that they can get in touch with themselves and maybe learn to relax a little bit and actually enjoy the fact that they're not doing anything. Do you think that's right?
I think that's absolutely right. I think I have heard of a lot of people that work very, very hard, and then suddenly they retire and it all stops, and then they don't quite know what to do with themselves. So I have a big emphasis on laughter, fun, play, and enjoyment, because when we're laughing, when we're having fun, we're relaxed. I mean, why wouldn't we be? Yeah. So it's a fun way to become more relaxed. So I always suggest to people, to make sure in your week, whether it's a work week or a retired week, make sure you do things that you enjoy, as opposed to what you feel you ought to do or should do, or what somebody told you to do, but to really tune into, okay, am I really enjoying this right now? And if the answer is yes, well, good, keep on doing it. But if the answer is no, well, maybe stop and do something you really, really enjoy. And I think especially with retirement, I mean, it's kind of now or never, to work on our bucket list and do those things, so that we don't have any regrets when we die.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the idea of finding the things that you enjoy, I think, is so much, not more important, but it's so paramount in retirement, because you've got that time now and it's time to use it. You might as well make the best of it. If you can laugh your way into something you're enjoying, then that's the way to go, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And also, it's a very attractive energy. And so you will attract people because you're enjoying your life, and it just helps you have an even better social life. And then, of course, family as well, because everybody likes somebody who can laugh easily and is joyful and a good sense of humor and things like that,
Yeah,
it really lightens your energy, which is great.
Yep. And as you say, you can fake it till you make it. If you have a smile on your face, it's hard to feel sad. Your brain just goes along with those upturned smiles.
It does. And smiling is a part of the whole laughter, fun, and play, for sure. Just smile for no reason.
Everybody will wonder what you're up to then, as the saying goes.
Yeah, yes.
So along with all of the good benefits of laughter and easing yourself and relaxing yourself, you also talk about meditation for manifesting peace and prosperity. How can we change the prosperity part of our life through meditation?
Well, the first thing to understand is what meditation is and what it is not. Meditation is awareness of the present moment. A lot of the reason people have issues with prosperity is because they live in a worry mindset. Always worried about money, and I don't have enough money, and will I have enough money, and all of that. So that doesn't help anything. And so you have to come into the present moment with awareness. Because I find a lot of people who come to me because they want to work on their money, and we look at what they have, and they've got plenty of money, but somehow they think they don't.
Right.
So that's one thing, just to bring awareness to the reality of your financial situation and look at it. And then when you start laughing more and having more fun and more joy, what you're actually doing is you are attracting good things into your life, because you're activating the positive law of attraction. And if we take law of attraction on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most positive, 1 being the most negative, then your laughter, fun, and play practice is going to take you up to a 10. And then you're in the best place for attracting good things, whatever it is you want. If you want more clients, or, I mean, I never suggest to people that they just ask for money, because the universe needs to know, well, and how do you want the money to come? Through clients or through inheritance, or, what
just out of the sky?
Yes, big bag of money on your head. Because there's all kinds of financial miracles can happen, but you have to be open to receive. So another piece of it is, yes, asking for what you want. You have to be open to receive more money, more love, more health and fitness, whatever it is you want.
And so people. I was going to say, and many people say, oh, well, I'm open, but they aren't really. They aren't
exactly
really as open as they think they are.
Yes, exactly. And this is where the awareness comes in, the self-awareness. With non-judgment, this isn't about judging yourself. It's just notice where you're at with receiving. Like if someone says, oh, I'll pay for lunch, do you say, oh, no, that's okay, I'll get it? Or can you say, well, thank you, that's very kind of you. Can you receive it? And it shows up in small ways in our life. So it's something you can pay attention to. I mean, if just somebody smiles at you, smile back, in these simple ways. And what you're doing is you're expanding your capacity to receive, so that when the bigger opportunities come along, you can say, oh, thank you very much. Another $1,000. That's lovely. Thank you. Or however it comes. Exactly. Because, the universe wants us to be abundant. The universe is abundant. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at our supermarkets, there's like an endless supply of food. If you walk down a street where there's car showrooms, there's all these cars. I mean, we have abundance, at least here we do in North America.
Exactly.
And so we have to open to receive it. And somebody might want to give you a car, or help you pay for a house. I mean, who knows, but you have to be open. Yeah.
Very nice. And I know you mentioned to me that you have a free gift for the listeners on the show, and they can go to your website to get that. Is that correct?
That is correct. Absolutely. Yes. So my website is www.discovermeditation.com. And if you go /contact, you will come to the page where is the free gift, which is 3 free videos to help you get started with your manifesting. They're 3 5-minute videos. And that will help you get started with manifesting and help you increase your ability to manifest what you want.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. I'll make sure that goes in the show notes for everyone. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners? Anything you'd like to talk about before we close up today?
I think just the one thing is not to judge yourself, because I think that judgment is the number one cause of suffering in the world. The way we judge other people for a whole variety of reasons, but behind that, what's really happening is we're judging ourselves, and we think ourselves lesser than or not worthy of. And so if we judge other people, that makes us feel better about ourselves. And actually, that's not a good idea. So what I would like to say to everybody is accept yourself the way you are right now. Nobody's perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about being who you are. So watch the mind, because the judgment lives in the mind, and really practice accepting yourself. Even when you make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, and have compassion for yourself and love yourself. Those three things: self-acceptance, self-love, and self-compassion.
Beautiful. I think that's a very wise advice, because we treat everyone else so much better. We should start treating ourselves the way we treat our friends.
Yes, especially women.
Yes.
Yes.
Fabulous. Pragito, thank you so much for being with me today. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot, and I think I'm probably going to go get your book now.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for having me, Jackie. I have really enjoyed this too.
And that's it for this episode of Beyond Retirement. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Are you ready to start rocking your retirement? Head on over to www.beyondretirement.ca/rocking it and sign up to plan out your own roadmap for retirement. Don't wait till it's too late.